The new Lorville skyline is beautiful, but has it ruined performance in the city? Well, the answer is yes and no to a certain extent. When 319 first went to the PTU, I did a quick stream looking at performance and immediately found that performance is way down on 318.2 live. So this week I've been testing the different patches in the PTU to see how they perform, how many frames we've lost. And the answers are really interesting and quite complicated. We've also got some 4K testing and also some minimum spec PCE testing to see how that is affected. 318.2 live is our baseline. The first patch that I tested was on the Wednesday. And you'll see here a massive drop in performance compared to the 318.2 live patch. Huge. But as the week went on, things got better. So the Thursday patch had some optimization work on Lorville and we saw quite a big improvement in performance, getting closer to live. And then the Friday patch was even better. The Monday patch was basically some hot fixes over the weekend, so not much different. So performance is on its way back to where it is in live, but these numbers don't really tell the full story. Even though CIG did this optimization / polish pass on the city, the skyline itself is still completely brutal. Anytime you're looking at the new buildings, your frames are going to be lower than what they were in 318.2. They are really heavy on the CPU in particular. You'll see here the two next to each other, and performance on live is just much better. We're not GPU bound at all. This is at 1080p with a 7950X 3D, and the CPU is the problem here, or the engine maybe. But yeah, we are seeing much lower frames on the train line. And then also, you've got this scene looking out across New Deal, where you've got the new buildings on the right-hand side in the 319 patch, affecting performance pretty significantly. But the interesting thing is that some of the inside parts of Lorville are now performing better than what they were with live. So it seems as though the performance optimization that CIG have done have made a big difference to not the thing that we actually think is the problem, the skyline and all the buildings, but there is better performance happening inside when you're not looking at the buildings. At 4K, you'll see results pretty much the same. There's not much difference between these. And that is, again, slightly down to the optimization that CIG has done. Certain parts of Lorville are now performing better, but the skyline itself at 4K is still hammering the CPU. And also, it's pretty heavy on the GPU at 4K. And the minimum spec system with the i7-8700 and the GTX 1660, you might expect to be an absolute car crash and to be completely awful frames, sub 20 maybe. And there are some parts of the run that are sub 20, definitely, but overall performance isn't actually that bad. We've lost some frames, definitely, compared to live, but because the 1660 was already capping out around the 30 FPS mark on the train ride, there weren't as many frames to lose when looking at the new skyline, if that makes any sense. So the average itself hasn't actually changed that much. So has CIG ruined Lorville? Well, it definitely looks better now than it ever has. It was quite bland and it really was showing its age to a certain extent, but performance is definitely down. So I imagine a lot of people are going to have a look and then they'll probably set their spawns somewhere else, which is a shame because it does look absolutely stunning. Hopefully CIG can continue to improve performance, but based on the fact that they've done a week and they've not really improved performance of the actual skyline itself, makes me think maybe that's going to be harder than we think. It looks to me as though the art team have gone mad and there's not been really any thought of performance, and that seems a bit crazy at this stage of development, that there's not any joined up thinking to just test how this is going to perform. It looks as though they've overdone it slightly in terms of the performance hit, that everything that the art teams have done, it just looks like it's hit performance too much, but who knows? Maybe they'll be able to fix it. And remember, this is the PTU, so when we go to live, we'll get a bit more performance anyway, just because logging and things will be turned off. So maybe all hope is not lost.